Good start, Dave.
We can start.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's pledge of allegiance first. Pledge of allegiance.
To the
flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, roll call David Ruth.
And Frida,
Can you push this down? Bill Spargro.
and Ken Frida,
Absent are Dana Collins, Paul Leo Grande, Ed Moore, and Tamara Zahn.
Are there any public comments over the phone?
Nothing.
No one's in the audience,
Nope.
so we're at the action log review. Usually that's done with Tamara. And do we have that on the screen? Can we get it on the screen? I think we did, from what I observed, we did just about everything last year. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we did community events last week, trying to help out Carrie. Does anybody have any other additional ideas or community events they'd like to share? I think that was.
This is Ken.
That was taken care of on March 3rd. Ed and Paul are to present the pavilion proposal. Paul's ready for that, but he keeps getting delayed because of the CDD meetings being in the church rather than in this room, and they don't have the equipment to show the slides. So he says he's going to do that, but not this Thursday, but then 2 Thursdays from this. Okay. I provided dimensions for the proposed track a long time ago. We're on hold with that until we present that. Ed is supposed to present that to the CDD people. I don't know if he has the packet or not. I think Bill was asking about seeing a copy of some of this information. And I think if you go back to the CDD, what's it called?
The website?
The website, yeah, the CDD website, and go back to Parks and Rec February.
Advisory, Parks and Rec Advisory Council meetings.
You
You
can
can click
see
in
all
there.
the notes, you can
Right.
see everything that's ever been presented. And usually that's what we recommend most people when they first come to. I would go back the entire year of 2024 if you really want to understand and know what's been happening.
And this is Carrie Runyon. Also, with the financial reports, I know that, Laura has, I kind of talked to her and we kind of made some adjustments to make it look a little different. So you'll see that, a little differently, the financial reports, that adds a few things in there so you can understand where we are.
Okay, the doors have been approved and work should start, what, today?
Nope, work starts at the end of this month. I wanted to make sure the season people all, because it gets pretty busy. So starting construction, we're gonna wait till the end of April, the last week in April, starting that Monday. They'll start on the doors.
All right, and we all just already said something about the budget summary, so let's keep going. Next is the approval of the minutes. Hopefully everybody had a chance to read the minutes. Bill would probably say, well, I don't know. I don't know what he did. But anyway, I make a motion that we can't even do that, can we?
No motion.
It's just 3 people.
Right, so you can look at the minutes. If you have any questions, you can talk about the minutes. We can always approve them at the next meeting.
Yeah, I think I've got him here. Is it the February meetings?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've got it.
This one, you
And I think the very last thing about the action log review line, I thought that was a good idea that Conrad had said, so that gives us an idea of what's happening next time.
Right, and I believe, this is Carrie again, I think she mentioned she wasn't going to be here because of something. I just,
Yeah.
for some reason it clicked in my head. And the other thing is, I just wanted to add a couple other action items that did happen in the parks. The fun park, we got rid of 2 old picnic tables and we brought in 2 brand new picnic tables. So I can tell you those have been put there. And then at the pool, we got new mirrors in the restrooms. And we have new water fountain bottle filler. So we added that as well. So we're still moving along, doing repairs here and there.
And just so people know, can you give us a recap of if you missed three sessions? Okay, you're off the team. Okay, and I think Dana has just met her 3rd day, if she doesn't show up.
Correct.
So somebody's gonna have to talk to her or tell her.
Yes, and that'll be with Georgia. Okay, we'll move on.
This is Bill Spargo. Can I ask if it's possible to reinstall hooks in the bathrooms? Because they keep breaking to hang your clothes on when you go into the bathrooms at the pool.
The big bathrooms.
Yeah,
Are you talking
Well,
about by the
no, sorry.
showers? What are you talking?
I'm talking about the bathroom that normally I use, which is on the
Small
other side,
bathrooms,
Small
yeah.
bathroom. And there were plastic hooks in there.
They break
They break, and I
inside the bathroom or outside.
inside. The ones outside are not going to break. Something maybe a little more substantial.
Okay, let's move on to the financial report, the February financial report. I think we made some comments last time, and I think you did something about that, right, Carrie?
Yes, this is
Okay.
Carrie. We kind of made this look a little bit easier for you guys to understand, and we added some things so you can actually see a better look at the financials, because we broke it up into Parks and Recreation and then pool and then capital projects. And it started with your annual budget, items that are encumbered, and then what they've paid year to date, and then the remaining balance, and then it shows your percentage you've used. Now, what they do is your bottom line is actually what you'll have to look at. Like, for example, it shows the irrigation, R&M irrigation and Parks and Rec. That's out here at the soccer complex. We've had a lot of irrigation issues since October, and we did a lot of repairs that have been needed for a while. So that's in the negative, but it'll pick up with other items that we don't spend in the other areas, other line items.
I have a concern on Parks and Rec. The new budget's coming out and people are talking about it in the CDD group. And if you look at the CDD, the next budget or the next meeting is going to be talking about budget. So I guess I'm wanting people to take a look at that information, because it's different than what's been given here, the one we just, okay? And there's things that we've been discussing, like the fun park and the pavilion and some of those things that aren't included. And this thing, if you look at it, it's from 2026, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So those items are not on here. And 2030, we're gonna be all looking at each other and said, well, none of this got done. Okay, so somehow we have to get it included in the thinking of the CDD members, where we need to be told that we're not gonna do that until 2031. Okay, then there's no point in discussing it.
Well, David, let me ask you this again procedurally. How would they have found out? Is this something that we should have done, or is it something that the CBD should have been picking up on their own?
Well,
And this is Ken, by the way.
everybody there, just like we have access to their information, they have access to our plans, our drawings and whatever. And anybody doing their homework would have looked at that already, and even though it wasn't presented, could be thinking that, hey, this is a good idea or a bad idea. And they could basically be letting us know that they're not gonna do any of these things until after the Commons Park is done, or the pool area is taken care of, or whatever.
Okay, this is Carrie Runyon again. I did send up, and it's not finalized for all the other years, but I could tell you that for next year, the minor repairs, we take care of that under operating and maintenance. Any capital improvements will not be in 26 for the fun park. Because they're gonna be working on the new facility, the Commons Park. So I put those in 27, 28, and so on to incorporate some numbers. So I did put that in the capital improvement plan.
I think,
Now, if there's some,
I recommend everybody look at this, because I don't see it.
okay,
It's not clear to me
okay, so,
that they're coming.
so if there's anything that you want to include something specific with specifications of like a suggested amount, you need to give that to me. If there's anything that's not in there that you think should be in there.
But I also, the way, before you ever came into being, we had problems with the pool. They were going to eliminate the pool at one point in time. And when we stood up at the CDD meeting and pitched why this is an important ingredient and probably one of the best assets that exists for the Parks and Rec, they bought into what we were saying and took money away from the soccer field, the goals and some stuff, and they put money into the actual existence of the pool. And we kept the pool and we kept the soccer fields going, everything. And so they were thankful. So I guess what I'm suggesting, I'm not making a motion or anything, I'm just suggesting that more people go to the CDD meetings. And Paul said he wanted to, and Ed said he was going to, but they haven't been there.
Well,
So I'm recommending that all of us go whenever possible and stand up and talk about the things that, because it's not just her responsibility. It's this committee's, I think it's this committee's responsibility to make sure that people are aware that we want to just do more than just have a big field called the fun park. Okay, we want to have more than that. And I don't want to go at 2030. I hope I'm alive at that point in time. And just see the field that hasn't been mowed over there. Okay, I think it's time we continue to help the CDD people, help Carrie, make everybody aware that some of this needs to be put into the budget for Parks and Rec. Otherwise, this is gonna just go by us. It went by us last year, and we got just some basic things done at the pool.
Just a
But it
point
went
of
by us without us
clarification.
saying anything.
Yeah, just a point of clarification. This is Bill Spargo. I'm a little unclear about the finances here, how they work. I need a little primer on that, but, and we can do that maybe another time, but I agree with you. I think that this sounds like a very important meeting, but it's not one that you attend?
I don't, no, usually this is Carrie again, usually the Public Works Director attends. And I will attend if they need like
Oh.
future information.
Right.
But we're not done with the budget yet. They're not completely
No,
done. It hasn't been
no.
approved. It doesn't get approved till later.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm asking or what I'm thinking is, do we go as a group? Do we get it added to their agenda as an item for them to discuss? Or do we just sit in the audience and then say, oh, I have a question about why?
Well, you don't sit in the audience and do that. You need to present something to them.
But does
it's
it get-
suggested-
Does it get on their agenda as something? to
Yes.
discuss?
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And you have to get it on their agenda.
So again, this is Bill Spargo, going back to what you were saying though, what you were looking at there is not a 5-year plan or a 7-year plan. It's like a couple of years, that's all. So,
I'm seeing 2025, I'm sorry. 2026 to 2030.
all right, that is a 5-year plan then.
Won't you give one to each of the guys? Here's what I found on the CBD website. It's going to be discussed on Thursday. Workshop. Then it's going to go into a meeting. Okay.
Yeah, it is a 5-year plan.
Mhm.
Take a look.
So I can tell you that the playground equipment, it says here, that is,
At Sherman,
Fun Park, that it's in there for 2027.
is it,
Basketball goals are in there. Fun Park court sports are in there. And at any given time, like say next year we decide and we come back in here and you say, hey, can we make some adjustments on and we want to push this one back and put something else in there, we can do it. So it's not like in stone, it can be adjusted. These are things that also that I had to look at to see estimated value of time left on them. The pool heaters, well, I pushed that out because the pool heaters they went kaput. So,
oh, sorry. Was there another one?
so I can tell you that some of these items had to be replaced already. Some of the pool heaters, like for example, the pool heaters, one of them went already, and they're both the same age. And it's really putting a lot of pressure on the second one. So we went ahead and we ordered, I had some money in my operating, so we went ahead and ordered them. They'll be installed on Monday. So I pushed that out 5 years. So I'm saying is, again, there's something specific that you want in here. We're gonna need to let me know, and I can always make adjustments. But I do have some of the fun park items in here.
But these are things that are just replacing or fixing what's already there. I mean, that's my observation. There's no vision. I mean, I'm not blaming you for this.
No, there's no
Because
vision.
we never presented yet the fun park at all in the plans that we developed.
Correct. We haven't,
And,
right.
and so that has to be presented, but we're getting caught again, presenting it after the fact. We're going to end up not getting in the hopper.
Well, for
Okay.
example, I threw some money in there for 27, it says court sports. 27 and 29, but I didn't say specifics for 29. Do you see that, Dave?
Sorry, which,
Fun Park, it says court sports,
Oh.
basketball, volleyball. That was just an examples.
Yeah.
I put in some numbers in there
mhm.
that can be adjusted, you know,
Mhm.
what we actually want to do. I didn't specify exactly what it has to be. So I could tell you the 25 would be more of your basketball and moving the volleyball or taking it out. Fiscal 2029 was 75,000. I don't have anything specific, but it was more of the gardens, putting in the walkway, that type of thing. I was trying to,
You got
Give some estimates, yeah.
100,000
Yeah.
in there
so,
over a few years.
correct.
That looks good. And the 660,000, that is for this year,
Yeah, that's,
25 times
and
6.
that's for the commons
Yeah.
amenities
Right.
over by the pool.
But one time we had a splash pad by the pool,
Yeah, then
and is that gone?
it's gone.
How did that,
That the board of supervisors,
took that out?
yeah. I think they, between them and, the cost that it went up, it was like 200 and some thousand. It was not even close
What
to
is
200 and
that?
some thousand.
It's a splash pad.
It's like the water coming up and the kids run through it.
Ah,
It's like at the water parks and stuff.
yeah.
The problem with that is it doesn't last very long. The repairs and the maintenance of those are very costly. As you can see that they had to redo Lakes Park completely from the hurricane. Everything was damaged.
Mhm.
Plus I just know I had one down in Collier County and it's constant maintenance of those things. It's very expensive. Plus we'd had to put in another pump for
Yeah.
that specific in a pump house. So that went over $250,000. It was gonna be closer
Wow.
to $1 million, so they pulled that.
Well, I guess the only thing I want to add, and we don't have to keep discussing this.
Right.
But to me, could we put something in place where we need to get before the board, and if there's adding us as an agenda item to their, that they can discuss, fine, but I think there just needs to be a mechanism in place so that, we don't look back, we're looking forward. Like
Well, the mechanism that you need to start thinking of is November. Okay, because the new fiscal year is from October to September.
Okay.
So November, you should start looking at items that you would like for the next fiscal year.
Mhm.
So that when February rolls around, you have that already in your pocket and you can present it and then have it already put on paper.
So will that be the year 2027?
Yes,
Okay,
okay?
so there's nothing that we can do for 2026 to make recommendations to the board that they either add some numbers to that, or, I mean, because what they do is they can take it away from, another thing like administration. They can take it away from other, the waterways. They can, they can move some of this money around if there's a reason. I wish that the community pavilion had been presented. It would have we would have a stronger leg to stand on. It hadn't been presented, and now it's gonna be at the end of this month. Then all these things are gonna be discussed on Thursday.
Right. And I kind of mentioned this, that 2026 is going to be more your commons, park, amenities and area.
Mhm.
And 2027 after will be other items for parks. So that's where you need to shoot for, is 2027 and on. Okay?
But there is money in the linear park improvements.
Yes.
What are we actually improving?
Well, one thing I was going to do is I was going to add markers, because you're very limited in what you can do under power lines. So I was
markers
going
to tell them where a mile is.
Yeah, exactly. Markers and then benches.
All right.
Benches with a little, garbage can sitting area, on Linear Park. And then I'm not sure, but, when we goes into the commons area, how it's going to, the pathway in the new commons park, it's supposed to attach to the Linear Park.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to hold to see what cost. Yes. In the back, where we go through in our cars
So
on the phone.
there's an easement there.
Can I touch it? The walkway. So I think that's also being held to find out what's not being paid, what is being paid, to be able to capture that, so. Okay. That's all I have on that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Where is,
Oh, I'm sorry. So the meeting time discussions.
okay, this is Carrie Runyon again. So staying until 7 o'clock at night, and only maybe having maybe 2 people here. We talked about this last time that possibly we would still stick with 1:30 unless there's something pressing that needs to be brought forward in the evening. And we can always make that change.
In order to get
More people,
more people.
yes.
So when would we know that? When would we know that we have to alert the public that the time's being changed?
We usually do is that, we usually give them at least a 3 to 4 week notice.
By putting it on the website?
Yeah, so after these meeting notes that I take and I give them to administration and we tell them what's going on, and then they put that in their notice so they know when the next meeting is and what time.
Yeah, we had it at 1:30 and changed it to every other meeting was gonna be at 6 o'clock so people could come. And nobody comes.
Yeah.
So,
What's the point?
you know, but we haven't been doing anything to really call out the
Well,
people from the neighborhoods. And we had 2 people last time, excuse me.
Right,
that's a-
2 people last time said that they would still prefer, even though they're not here today, still prefer to give people a chance to come at 6 o'clock.
I mean, I raised this question at one of the first meetings I was at. How do we get word out to the public about meetings? I mean, not everybody is savvy enough to go on a website to check what's going on or get their information off the website. The CDD has the names, phone numbers, and email addresses of everybody that lives within the jurisdiction of CDD. Why can't an email go out saying there's going to be a meeting, blah, 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 on the second Tuesday at 1:30, your presence is requested? So I don't know, that doesn't go out as, I don't see it. I mean, we're just assuming people know and assuming that people, and this is kind of my way, I'm sorry. I think a better way needs to be put in place to get the word out that these meetings are being held. If after doing that, nobody shows up, well, you've tried everything. But we can sit here and discuss this, but unless people know, if it was me, I wouldn't be coming, I wouldn't know.
This is Bill Spargrove, and I think you raised a really good point. I don't really have a solution for that.
Well, I think the
But-
solution might be to do an
Send an
email.
email.
I mean, the CDD knows how to send out emails when they send me my water bill.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. This is Carrie. I will put that in my notes, see what they, what kind of marketing they send out. I know they do put it on the website, they put it on Facebook, and they also send it out to the HOA representatives, but I will.
And just off the record, one thing, I had a question about the water bill. Can I ask you about that?
No,
At the end of this?
I think after the meeting.
After the meeting?
Yeah, I'm not a water bill person.
No, no, no.
Okay. The other thing is, Ed's not here tonight and we don't have a quorum to, vote on him returning, for the next 2-year term. So we'll hold that for the next meeting, which will be in May.
Before we leave the terms of these, are we now going to have the 1:30 meeting in May? We're all in agreement that unless there's something of a pressing issue.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
Although that could be a problem for Ed
Could be.
if he's student teaching or if he's,
Have to find it.
Where was the meetings again?
Hold on, I'm looking, I'm sorry. I was clicker too fast.
That's right. Because this is when the meeting was scheduled to be at 6 and we
Mhm.
can't change that. Because we don't have enough people to vote to say,
So you change it.
change this. I think it's at 6.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah, we can't move, we can't change May.
no, but if I can ask a question, how was it ever agreed upon or decided that 1:30 would be the earliest of the times? Because I gotta tell you, 1:30 for some people may not work. I know it doesn't work for me all the time, because middle of the day, it kind of limits what you can do before the meeting, kind of limits what you can do after. Was any thought ever given to holding these meetings at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, where you come in and then people go off and do their business?
Since I've been, this is Carrie again, since I've been involved in this, that's when the meetings were set by the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee.
Mhm.
They set the timeframe, so if that's an adjustment that needs to be made, I can ask how that would be done.
Well, can I make a request that at the next meeting of this group, maybe just put it on as an agenda item just to discuss it a little bit more? I mean, I'm retired, but I like to go out and do things, and having meetings sometimes, even though it's only once a month, it could interfere with people's schedules.
Sounds like it was arbitrary, so
Yeah,
why not talk about it?
It probably was set by the people who
Yeah.
are up, the district manager and stuff.
Right.
And this is when this room was available and nobody else was using it.
Well, that is a good point.
Right.
So I think that's.
'Cause that
how
limits you
it gets
too.
set.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it available at 9? I
Well,
wouldn't
it
know.
could be 2 o'clock, it could be 3, depending upon
Could be
Yeah. what
2:30.
we all agree. I don't care.
That's
we could talk about it.
right.
That's a good point.
I will find out what options there are.
Sure.
Okay, so May 6th, 2025, 6 PM will be the next meeting. Due to the fact we do not have a quorum to vote on the proposed change.
So we're gonna meet at 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
We have to.
Any other public comments? From the telephones?
Nothing.
I think that's a good
Any
sign.
members have items or reports that they'd like to talk about? We've set the next meeting time. The agenda, I think you've taken notes on what we've talked about today, so
Correct.
we can come up with an agenda. If we have something else that we can maybe want to discuss, I'd get that to Carrie at the pool.
Mhm.
And we'll add that because they don't publish this until a week before the next meeting, which would be May 6th and be April 30th or something.
Correct.
So we can get anything in we want to talk about at that time.
Oh, okay.
And we're adjourned.
By April 30th?
That's when you'll see it on the CDD
Okay.
Mhm.
publication. But I do recommend that you guys go back and look at the Parks and Rec, budgets and see if there's anything that you can think of that we need to add.
Okay.
Ed and Paul have been here more than all the rest